Hey everyone, today I'll be using Bergamote from Crowne and Crane, and I will be talking about Centralia, the land of silent hills. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, how you doing? John Bonham here, Cape Cod Wet Shaving. All right, history shave, got a good one for you today. All right, real quick, go through coffee of the day. Believe it or not, Starbucks again, caramel. My wife picked this up. It's actually really good. As I've said before, I'm not a huge Starbucks fan, but that one's actually quite delicious. Go ahead and drink that. Okay, let me get through software and hardware. Today's soap is a new release from Crowne and Crane. It's one of the newer releases that she's done in a while for reasons I will not disclose here. She just had some stuff going on. But it's the latest release from Crowne and Crane called Bergamote. I believe I'm saying that correctly. I don't think it's Bergamote. Maybe it is. It is in fact based off of a cologne called Bergamote 22, I believe. I really like it. It doesn't smell like a cologne to me at all. Smells very good. Scent notes are bergamot, citrus, orange blossom, cedarwood, vetiver, and musk. It's a very nice summer, warm weather scent, spring, summer. And I have the matching balm to go along with that. So Liz only has balm, she doesn't have splashes. So I enjoy that thoroughly because then I get to grab a splash to pair with. I love pairing stuff. And so in this case, splash I'm going to use, my wife bought me this as well for Father's Day 2 years ago. And this is a splash bergamot, as you can see. And it comes in the flask, which I think is pretty neat. And it's the Men's Soap Shop. It's a brand that I haven't really come across too much of. I have a shave cream of theirs that I need to use. I'm way overdue to use that. So for pre-shave, if you can believe it, I have another little flask. And this I just found, Burly Fellow, it's an Australian company. And it's black pepper and citrus. This is beard oil, but I use it for pre-shave oil. And I found it, believe it or not, at Marshall's, one of my favorite places ever to find stuff. So I'll be using that today. I already have the oil on pre-shave. It smells really good. Very sweet, despite the black pepper. Hardware, I'm going to be using my Pearl. There we go. My Pearl, I don't know, Irish. Niall McLaughlin. How you doing, Niall? One of the few Irish wet shavers I know of said that this is more than likely from India, not from Ireland, but I use it for St. Paddy's Day and stuff. And in this case, it paired quite nicely with the label. So, plus I haven't used this since St. Patrick's Day, so it's been a few months. And I'm going to be using the Astra green blades with that. And I got a new Leia horsehair brush from Jason at the Razor Company. Hello, Jason. So I'll be using that. And let's get into it, because I got a long one. So some of y'all might already know about Centralia, Pennsylvania, and the mine fire underneath Centralia, Pennsylvania. I knew about it, but I didn't know the details of it, and I was watching, I think, yet again, a YouTube video, and Centralia was mentioned in the video, and I went, I'm going to do that. So I haven't done a location, I don't think, in a while. The Cola Super Deep Borehole, which is a place technically, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so Opus Brush Company started following me. Yeah, that's a new thing. The Instagram thread. It's like their version of Twitter. It's very weird. I opened up an account on it and synced my Instagram stuff to it. So now I'm getting all these people adding me and following me. And very strange. So anywho. So Centralia is a borough and a ghost town in Pennsylvania. We'll start with that. And before I really get into it, I do want to give a shout out again to Liz at Crowne and Crane. Wonderful artisan, very sweet lady. And she makes phenomenal soaps. She makes both tallow and vegan. I've used the vegan on here. Her vegan base along with her tallow base, both are phenomenal. This is a tallow base. I wanted to use this on camera for the first time, so there's the pour. It's just straight citrus right out of the gate. So, very good soaps. If you've never seen her around, I mean, I'm sure you have. If you've never tried her and you've been thinking of it, give her a shot. She doesn't just make wonderful stuff. She's a very, very good person. You'd be supporting an awesome individual. Hello, Liz. Absolute sweetheart of a lady. And I'm on the fence if I should mention it, or I'll just go ahead since I brought it. So there's someone that ordered a sample from her, I guess, and then got this paid full shipping for, it was like a $3 sample, paid like $7 or $8 for shipping for the sample. Used it and then bashed her review-wise, I guess. Look at that. Which really bugs me because it's a sample. I mean, I gotta be careful here. You're obviously entitled to your own opinion. I mean, there's some artisans that I don't like. Just because I don't like the quality of the soap, or maybe I don't care for the person individually. I'm not going to get into that, but I feel really bad that someone kind of went out of their way, I guess, to say something bad about her. It seemed like, I guess, I don't know. But I'm telling you, hands down, she's one of my favorite artisans. Not just because of who she is as a person, but she makes some really good quality stuff. And one of her big things, and I told her this, she makes a lot of cologne dupes. And I've mentioned before, I'm not a huge cologne dupe kind of guy. I'll use them, certainly. I've used them before. I genuinely like them. I just used, what was it, Baccarat 540. It was good, it smelled good, but I don't outwardly go after them. Some people do. So she actually makes a cologne dupe from the ground up. She'll make it a cologne dupe, but natural, if that makes sense. It smells natural, doesn't smell artificial. I don't know, maybe I'm not saying it right, but really good artisan. And you're obviously entitled to your opinion. That's what it's all about. You like what you like, you don't like what you don't like. But I guess it seemed like someone kind of went out of their way. I don't know if it's a competition or what, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it and say that I back her 100% as an artisan and the quality of her products. I love them. So there we go. I usually don't try to get too political with that kind of stuff on here, but if I feel justified in doing so, and I 100% believe it, I'll say it, if that helps. So, Liz, great stuff. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Oh, and she doesn't like pay me or sponsor me to say that, by the way. She actually probably didn't know. She did not know I was going to say this on here, so I hope she doesn't mind. If you see this, Liz, sorry. All right. Let's move on. 7 minutes. So, Centralia is a borough and ghost town in Pennsylvania. In 1856, the Locust Run Mine and the Coal Ridge Mine opened. More mines followed in 1860, 1862, and 1863, respectively. All told, there would be, I think it was around 14 mines that would open up in Centralia, Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania, there's the Rust Belt, which, as you know, is Ohio and I don't think Kentucky. The Rust Belt runs into the Coal Belt. The Coal Belt is Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, parts of Ohio even, Pennsylvania, coal mining country. All of that runs together. So Pennsylvania is a big coal mining area, Centralia. And so, like many, many other places in the U.S., these towns sprung up based on if there was iron, gold, silver, things like that, coal, any ore that we need that was being mined out of the ground. So that was a picture of a mine, obviously, with the horse in it, or burro, whatever that was, I can't remember off the top of my head. So that was 1856. In 1865, the Lehigh Valley Railroad, I hope I'm saying that right, was constructed. The town was officially incorporated in 1866. At that time, it had around 1,300 residents. So that's an actual photo of one of the rail stations that was in the town at the time. okay? So I didn't know Centralia went back as far as it did. I'm not surprised, but no idea. So this is actually really a historical town. All right. Let me show you the lather on this real quick, by the way. There we go. Yum, yum, yum. Very citrusy. Straight bergamot, lemony kind of. Lemony snicket. Not really. Series of unfortunate events. Sorry, it just popped into my head. Very nice scent. Unmistakably citrus. If you like citrus, you'll like this. I kind of want to try the cologne if it smells like this. Interesting side note, she originally made it as a deodorant. And people, I guess, were saying, hey, why don't you make this into a shave soap? This stuff smells amazing. And Jason at the Razor Company, hello again, Jason, I think convinced her to do so, and she came out with it. So, wonderful. All right. I forgot my swishy bowl. One sec. Shing, 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 shing. Shing, sparkle, sparkle. Okay. Bear with me while I fill that up. Should have thought of that too. Was up till 3:30 in the morning with the baby, so I'm a little loopy. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon and I'm doing this. I'm late. I didn't wake up till 11. Just let me sleep. Thank you, Jess. Where was I? 1,300 residents. All right, the town peaked in 1890. The population was 2,761 and it had 7 churches, 5 hotels, 27 saloons, gotta have the saloons, 2 theaters, a bank, a post office, and 14 general and grocery stores. Okay? There we go. Oh, I didn't tell you, Astra Green. Did I? I think I did, maybe. Astra Green blade. Firsties. Da-da-da. Get the pick. There we go. We're going to the beach after this. And it's so funny because I didn't think of it until after I'd already decided to use it. Stuff with citrus in it on your face and then going in the sun, not a good idea. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to lather on the sunscreen once I go out there, so I gotta enjoy the scent of this stuff while I can. Okay. So by 1900, coal production had peaked and begun to decline. At the outbreak of World War I, the town had declined more. So the town was already in decline, and then World War I broke out. Of course, the men, the miners, all that had to leave, go fight in the war, which did not help matters. By 1960, so jumped ahead quite a bit, the remaining mining companies had closed and the population had shrunk to 1,435. There's a photo of Main Street in the 1960s. So that decline, it just never picked back up again. The mining companies cut their losses, pulled up, packed up, got out of town, moved on. And alas, the main source of employment and revenue for the town went with it. In 1962, okay, this is where it gets significant. In 1962, the town of 1,300 voted to clean their local landfill. So they actually had a couple of landfills. They're really tiny ones, and then finally they picked a spot for the official town landfill. And the spot they picked, now keep in mind, this is after over 100 years of mining. The spot they picked was right next to an old strip mine, okay? There's already a pit in the ground, and they picked a spot next to it. Makes sense. And it quickly filled up, kind of got out of hand. I think people were probably doing illegal dumping, all that good stuff. So the town got together and decided to clean it. Straighten it up, make it, you know, more accessible, maybe is the word I'd use. Utilize it for what it was. So the method of cleaning they decided upon was to set it on fire. A controlled burn. Located next to an abandoned strip mine, it was decided the landfill would be set on fire, supervised during a controlled burn. On the evening of May 27th, 1962, the dump was set alight. The contents were thoroughly burned by the 29th, and the ashes were doused with water. Okay. So what they did was, around the borders of the dump, around the edges, they put flame retardant materials just so the fire would spread out and not burn any further, and supervised it. And the fire went out. They doused it. They went in, overturned all the ashes to make sure it was out, and called it good. However, sporadic fires continued to flare up. This continued for days and then into weeks. Finally, so what they did was they just dug everything out. They were like, what the hell's going on here? They dug out the entire dump, and at the very bottom of the dump, all right, was a hole. It was a 15-foot hole, 15 feet wide, and dozens of feet deep. This hole was unearthed, and the hole led directly into the abandoned coal mine tunnels underneath. And that is how thus began the Centralia mine fire. That is a photo taken of the fire. They pulled away some rocks, and it opened up one of the tunnels. And right there, those bright spots, I know it's black and white, but those bright spots are open flame. Right there. It is currently burning up to 300 feet underground in spots. The mine's tunnels stretch over 8 miles under approximately 3,700 acres of land. So this is a big fire going on underground. The town desperately tried different methods to douse the fire. Obviously. Water was pumped into the hole itself. It did absolutely nothing. They even took clay and pumped clay into the hole and into different spots they knew would lead into the tunnels, which also did absolutely nothing. By then, it was too late. Fire was out of control. People began to notice bad smells in their homes, and others were driven out by the toxic fumes. So by then it had spread underneath the entirety of the town, and just different spots. It was leaching up out of the ground, toxic gases, carbon monoxide, sulfur, all those goodies. By 1980, the population had dipped below 1,000 people. In 1981, a 12-year-old, okay? Here's a photo of the main street in the 1980s. You might notice a marked difference between that and the 1960s photo. In 1981, a 12-year-old was playing in his backyard and he fell into a 4-foot by 150-foot deep sinkhole that suddenly opened up in his yard. He was able to hang on to tree roots until his cousin pulled him out. And that's an actual photo. This photo was taken hours after he fell into that hole. That's the kid that actually fell. His cousin was able to pull him out, and steam billowed from the hole. A probe was lowered, and it registered a temperature of 172 degrees Fahrenheit and lethal levels of carbon monoxide. So obviously it's safe to say if that kid fell, they would have never found him. He would have been incinerated. Bad stuff. So 1983, after that happened, that really was kind of the last straw. By the way, that family left after that happened to him. They pulled up roots and got the hell out of there. I would. picked up and moved. In 1983, Congress allocated $42 million in 1983. I don't know what the equivalent would be now. Probably over 100 million today. They allocated $42 million to relocate the townsfolk, most of which accepted. However, however, not all did. Afterwards, over 500 structures were demolished, and by 1990, there were only 63 residents left in Centralia, Pennsylvania. All right. Do a couple touch-ups. 63 residents by 1990. Oh man, it smells so good. It really does. There we go. Add some more water. It just, this bergamot scent is really, 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 really good. I see why Jason wanted it. And other people, not just Jason. Other people were asking about it, and Jason got her to pull the trigger on it. So, in 1992, the state invoked eminent domain. On the town, what am I, Christopher Walken here? On the town. The state invoked eminent domain on the town and condemned all remaining buildings. The highway through the town was closed in 1993, all right? This is the old highway, that's Old Highway 61. I believe it was called Graffiti Highway, Graffiti Road, something like that is what it came to be known as, because the whole stretch of it, as you can see, was covered in graffiti. In 2002, the Centralia zip code was discontinued. By 2010, only 5 homes and 10 townsfolk remained. These townsfolk fought the eminent domain claim and settled with the state. They were also allowed to stay in their homes for the rest of their lives. So what the state did was they said, okay, we won't force you out. You can stay here and die here. However, you cannot sell your land. You cannot give away your land. And if you insist on living here, again, that's fine. However, when you die, your property will go to the state and be taken over by eminent domain. And that's the deal that was worked out, okay? So, once they are gone, the state will eventually own the remains of the town and will demolish it. That's what the plan is. Centralia will cease to exist. That's a current day photo of Centralia. So you can see there's a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a state, not a town building. There's another word I'm trying to think of. But there's a little brown building up near the top, you can see, and that's a house, that other white building there. So those are kept up with. There's also a church that still holds weekly, there you are, weekly services for these, like, I think 5 residents now. Yep, kind of gave that away, whoops. As of 2020, only 5 people remain in the town. As such, it is not truly, technically a ghost town, okay? Now this photo right here, I believe this house is gone now, but this photo was taken in 2013, I think, somewhere around there. I want you to look at the, so you see the chimney, and then there's other brick supports going up the side of that house. This was a duplex, okay? Half of the house was removed, and that half of the house supported the house that's still standing, so they had to put those brick buttresses up on the side of that, what used to be a duplex, to keep the house from collapsing over. So you can see that house was very much still lived in when that photo was taken. But that's how desperately people were trying to hang on to this town and stay there. But, so that was the big wow moment for me, was seeing that house. I'm like, man, people just want what they want, and they want it, boy. So, the reason behind the title, as you probably guessed, The video game Silent Hill took inspiration from the mine fire in Centralia, although they did move the location of the game to a fictional town called Silent Hill, West Virginia. When they made the movie, one of the producers or the writers, or both, one of them, actually went to Centralia and walked around and kind of got a tour of it to get a feel for the town itself, for the atmosphere and all that. And what he said he took away from it was just the heavy, foreboding, oppressive, silent, just atmosphere that was there. Because he said there weren't even like birds or wildlife or anything, because all the fumes, I would imagine, would chase off a lot of the wildlife. He just said it was heavy and oppressive and full of ghosts. So, memories. Because these driveways and stairs would lead to just fields where houses once stood. And here's the kicker. At the fire's current rate, it is estimated it will burn for another 250 to 300 years. Damn. So that's what it says now. So it will have burned about 400 years if that's the case. It might go for as long as 500. They're not sure. They're estimating what was under there and what remained, based on paperwork and old records, what they think remained under there. That's how long they think it'll burn. So, all right, let me rinse this off. I'll do post shave. Be right back. Alrighty. I have to learn to do stuff with my left hand because I'm reaching over with the right. Phone's flipped upside down again. Okay, so I did want to say I hope people don't mind me voicing my opinion there. I usually don't, like I said, I'm a very big advocate on kind of trying to keep my mouth shut, at least in my case. Not advocate, maybe that's not the word I should use. I just try to be very careful. Because we can see there's schisms and groups and all kinds of stuff that happens just because you say something about the wrong person or the wrong thing. And it's silly. Undeniably silly, but like I said, I wholeheartedly believe what I said, and it really bothered me. And that someone would do that. To anyone, not just to Liz or Crowne and Crane. There's just no reason for it, to go out of your way to try to do something to ruin someone or upset someone, or, you know what I mean? It's just the way I feel anyways. That's really what bothered me the most, was the silly idiocy behind it more than anything. But I love Crowne and Crane. I'll always love Crowne and Crane, as long as she keeps putting out good, stuff like this. I can't get over how good that smells. This scent's amazing. Again, if you like citrus, if you like bergamot, get that for sure. Great base too. Post is really good. So this splash is a little sweeter with the bergamot, in my opinion. I don't know how they did that. Oh. And this is a witch hazel splash, by the way, not an alcohol. I actually forgot that. I was expecting a burn. Oh well. Maybe it's for the better, because I'm going right out into the sun here within an hour. That's alright. Alright, well I hope y'all like that about Centralia. Pretty crazy, huh? Yep, witch hazel water. Well, there is alcohol. I didn't feel no burn whatsoever. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you like Centralia. It's very interesting. Really sad. Still technically not a ghost town. That's so crazy. Because there's 5 people there. And there's some other photos, and you can go look it up on Google Images. There's a photo of a guy. The only reason I didn't use it was because I don't know the guy, and obviously I'd have to reach out and see if it was okay. I mean, I used the photo of the kid, but it's an old photo. But this was a more recent picture of a guy holding up a photo of the main street. So he's on a road, holding up a picture of the same road back in the day. and he held it up in a way that the current road kind of goes up and it looks like it merges into the picture. It was a really neat photo. But it looked like a guy that used to live there, and he had a photo, obviously, of what it used to look like. Or maybe he still lives there. Maybe he's one of the residents, but refuses to leave. Oh, and there's one other significant thing about it. There are 4 maintained cemeteries there. 4. Like I said, this place had a lot more history than I thought. So that's part of the town goes, those cemeteries. I mean, what are they going to do? Exhume, what is it? 150 years worth of burials. So, I don't know, almost 200 years going on. So there's a lot to be lost, a lot more than you'd think. And I get the reason people would want to stay. I mean, multiple generations, that's long enough there'd be multiple generations of people living there, and they just don't want to let it go. I feel bad for them, but it is what it is. Great balm too, by the way. I love her balm to death. It's very nice. Oh, it smells good. All right, that'll do it. Centralia, Pennsylvania, land of silent hills. And boy, are they. Thanks again, everyone who watches these. I've gained like 20 followers now. Thank you, Dan, again, and thank you everyone who's followed. I appreciate it. I hope you like the stuff I'm putting out. I might skip Monday monologue or reviews day, Tuesday reviews day, whatever. I might just wait for the next History Shave next Thursday. We'll see. It's just been hectic. But post 4th, it'll die down. We'll see. All right, that'll do it. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for coming back. Thank you for watching it all the way to the end. I know these are long. I really appreciate it. Till next time, be good to everyone. Get along. Be kind. And just shave. Enjoy life. Have a good one, guys. Happy summer. Take care.